All right, guys. Our next guest is coming off a very dominant performance over Ben Rothwell. He is the former UFC heavyweight champion, a multiple knockout of the night winner, and in general, one of the most devastating strikers in the UFC, Junior Tzagano dos Santos. Welcome to Submission Radio. How's it going today?
I'm going good. It's a pleasure to be talking with you guys again.
Well, Junior, the fans were very happy with your performance and said it was the best you've looked since 2013 when you beat Mark Hunt. The question is, were you happy with your performance?
Yes, I am. I think we did everything we should do, to get the victory. I didn't put myself in risk at any time. It's always, there is always something, a little bit of risk when you're fighting against, a guy like Ben Rothwell. He's a big guy and very dangerous. But I try to move a lot. I try to avoid colliding against him, because he's too big and too powerful. So I moved a lot and used my boxing skills. I'm happy that I brought my coach, Luis Carlos Doria, to help me for this camp. So I was feeling very well for that fight, and everything worked out well.
For sure. Everybody noticed you look like the old Junior Dos Santos, but did you feel like the old Junior? Is this the best you felt in a while?
Yeah, I'm feeling like even better than the last Junior, the old Junior Dos Santos, because I think I got more experience now, For me, since my debut in UFC on 2008, I got some really good victories, I think 9 victories. In the UFC heavyweight division, and then I didn't know how to deal with losing a fight. So after that, I had some negative results in my fights, and I had some pretty hard times, deal like having that kind of things happening with me. So I think right now I'm putting everything in the right place, and I'm taking advantage of this experience that I got, and now I think I'm gonna be everything what I want to be, a best Junior Dos Santos, a better Junior Dos Santos inside the octagon.
You mentioned those difficult times, Junior. I'm just wondering, how hard was it for you to deal with that period where you were losing, a couple of fights in a row there, and people were saying that they thought that you were done? How hard was it for you mentally to deal with that time in your career?
Yeah, I don't care about what people say, too much, but with the results that I had, some negative results with Cain Velasquez and also with Alistair Overeem, like pretty recent, and those things, and also the injuries that I had, all this time, that was really, really bad, man. A very serious, a very bad situation that I was going through, because I love to be Junior Dos Santos. I love to be who I am, to be fighting, to be giving my best all the time, to represent my country, and not just my country, but all the fans all over the world that enjoy watching me, So that was really hard for me. I was a little bit sad, deep in my heart. But now I think, like I said, I'm putting things in the right place, and I'm feeling that I have, great potential, to be champion again, and I will work for that.
Absolutely. And just going back to those times where things were difficult, I'm just wondering, did you ever get to a point where you thought that this may not be it for me anymore, that I might want to move on, possibly even retire if things don't turn around? Or did you always think that you'd get to this point where you could show people that you're still the same Junior Dos Santos?
No, I've never thought about, retiring or anything of this kind of things, because I like I said, I really believe in who I am. I knew that the things weren't going very well for me. I don't know why, bad energy or something like that. But I also knew that I'm a tough guy. I can do really well doing what I do. So I knew it was a matter of time, and I would be back to my winning streak. So now I'm here, and I'm looking forward to new challenges.
Sure, sure. And we'll sort of look to the future in the moment. I'm just wondering, you say that you always had that confidence. When we spoke to Ben Rothwell, he mentioned how he felt like he needed to remind people why you were so dangerous. Did you feel like that as well? Did you think that people forgot how devastating you could be? And did you feel that you needed to remind everybody how dangerous Junior Dos Santos, really was?
Yeah, I think so. I think so because people they like, how can I say that? People, they forgot about things very fast.
Mm-hmm.
They maybe, the most part of the people, they like to be negative, about everything. So I'm not that kind of person, and thank God I have a lot of great fans, man. They support me all the time, and every time I was, somebody was telling bad things about me, all these guys, this Junior Dos Santos fans, they were there to protect me, So I'm very thankful for that, and that kind of energy that I want to have with me, to motivate me and push me forward.
Yeah, certainly. And afterwards, after your fight with Ben Rothwell, you've been receiving a lot of praise for your performance, and people are very excited to envision you as a champion once again. I'm just wondering, how good does that feel, Junior, having everybody excited to see what happens next and excited to possibly see you fight for the title soon?
Yeah, it feels amazing, man, to have people that trust in you, that believe in you. Everything you say, that those people are there to believe in you. And also, I'm not that guy who stay like saying things, just saying things. I used to do things, inside the octagon. I used to prove everything what I say. So, and this time was one more time that I did this, So it's unbelievable to have that kind of people on my side, believing in me and giving me their support, and it feels amazing. And I'm doing this, for sure. I'm doing this for me and for my family, but I'm doing this for them too, because I want to see them happy. I want to give them, a good show, and I want to honor their support.
So, Junior, it seems like you've been looking to reinvent yourself and evolve as a fighter. Talk to us about your journey over the last few years, where you moved from Team Nogueira over to Team Nova União briefly, and now to American Top Team. Why so many moves?
Yeah, I'm looking for to become a better fighter. So there in Brazil, I have great training. I have great people with me, but here in America, things are a little easier to happen. And also, ATT is a great team with a big infrastructure there. That they let me use everything. So it's a very important part, and also it's easier to have a better diet and to get every kind of vitamins and supplements that you need. In Brazil, it's pretty harder to get. So that's why I decided to come and try to learn a little bit of their way to fight. So also, it's I didn't left all the people that I work with before. They are still with me all the time, giving me advices and working together.
So we have to ask, Junior, have you finally found your permanent home in terms of training camp? Will you be doing all your camps at American Top Team from now on?
Yeah, I think so. I think I found it, and it's great, to feel that you're in a good place and in the right place, doing what you gotta do. And this last camp I did in ATT was way better than my first camp, So I know that in the future, things will work even better for me, and I'm gonna be very well prepared for every fight.
For sure. And obviously, you're coming off this fantastic win. The way you feel now, the way your preparation is going at ATT, and the way you looked against Ben Rothwell, I'm just wondering, would you want to avenge that loss and rematch Alistair Overeem? Because that was a fight that was years in the making, and obviously it didn't go your way, and there was a big rivalry there. Are you interested in a rematch, or have you sort of moved past that?
Yeah, I actually, I'm not thinking about that, but of course it would be great to have that rematch. I know Alistair Overeem is very good fighter. But yeah, it would be good to have that rematch. But I'm not, thinking too much about that. I don't pick opponents, and anyone that UFC put in front of me. And my main objective, my main goal is to become the champion again. So that's what I want. Everything will happen to get there. I'll be ready to do.
Absolutely. And while we're on the topic of Overeem, and before we look into the future, I'm just wondering, Junior, a lot of people not really sure what happened in your first fight with Alistair Overeem. Now that it's sort of a while down the track since it's happened, can you tell us what went wrong? What do you think exactly went wrong in that fight?
Well, yeah, it's hard. It's a very hard sport. There is always something, bothering you, and it's hard. I can remember the time I was 100% to be competing. In the day of the fight, I was 100%. I can't remember any fight that I did this, that I was like this when I'm 100%. There is always something. That injures or something in your mind or something not going very well. So I don't know, it's hard to say. He did better than me. He connected a good punch right in my chin, and I felt the punch. So that's it. It was my first training camp there in ATT. Everything was different for me, and also a lot of things going on in Brazil too. So. Yeah, I think it's part. There's sometimes you're not able to show everything what you're capable to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of these times, and I wasn't feeling. Actually, I was okay. For the fight, I was prepared, but he did better than me.
Well, coming off this win, you're in an interesting position at the moment because Ben was on a 4-fight win streak. He had a lot of momentum behind him, and he looked as maybe he'll be the next title contender, and you just beat him. There's also Cain Velasquez and Overeem who look like they're close to title shots. Where do you think you stand in the division? Where does this win over Ben put you?
Well, I think right in the top where I was before, because I have a long history in this division. I already fought so many guys. And, of course, there is two guys that maybe I can have the rematch or with Velasquez or Alistair Overeem. But I'll do everything what I need to do to get my title shot again, And let's see what's going to happen now, because I'm feeling good, and I want to do whatever I need to do, So let's see what's going to happen in their fights now. They're both fighting now, but pretty soon. And, well, let's see. But I'm not, I want to fight for the title. But if I have to do one more fight to fight for the title, that's okay. I don't really, I'm not spending my energy in thinking about that right now,
Mm-hmm.
I know I need to get some positive results like I did now with Ben Rothwell, and I'm doing this, getting these positive results. I'll have my title shot for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And because I was going to say, you're sort of talking about Alistair Overeem and Cain Velasquez. We were going to suggest maybe someone like an Andre Arlovski or Travis Brown. I know they've got fights, but depending on how they sort of go next, do you think you're probably a little bit closer to sort of fighting Cain Velasquez or an Overeem as opposed to Travis Brown or Arlovski?
Well, yeah, to fight with this guy, it can happen. It can happen for sure. But if Travis Brown wins and Andrei Arlovski wins, then I don't see anyone else to fight for the title but me, because who's gonna be fighting for the title? You know, with the winner between Miocic and Werdum. There is no one else, I think, over there, and not fight with them, and would be, would be a great opportunity for me. You know, if both Cain Velasquez and Alistair Overeem lose their fights, I think it's me.
Let me just quickly ask you about Velasquez, because you guys have had a very interesting story, obviously fighting each other a number of times. In your last fight, however, a lot of people were saying that it was a very difficult fight to watch because of all the punishment that Velasquez unleashed during that fight. If you guys did have another one, how do you see a fight between you and Velasquez going again if you did get to fight him again?
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. I want to do this, man. I want to do this because, Cain Velasquez is a great opponent, a great fighter. And he did very well in our last two fights, and he beat me up very bad. But people were impressed with my face, because I was with a lot of swelling, But I can tell you that wasn't very bad, I got swelling pretty easy, and I got cut pretty easy too. So it's not good for me, But for sure it was a hard fight, for us. But I want to fight him again. If he continue as a good challenge for me, of course. If he starts losing fight, of course I don't want to fight him anymore because he's not gonna add anything for my career,
Yeah.
But I think his last fight against Fabricio Werdum was surprised me a lot because he was completely different, as the Velasquez that everybody knows, because Velasquez never gets tired. In that fight, he was exhausted in the first round. So I was wondering what happened with that, And let's see now with how it's gonna be, how he's gonna do with Travis Brownie, and then if we have a rematch, it's gonna be good, man. I think in my last fight with him, I respect him too much. I respect his grapple game too much, because he's good on that. But man, I got my black belt jiu-jitsu. I can wrestle pretty well too, Of course, I'm not gonna beat him in wrestling, but I can do pretty well. So I have to be more confident and put everything together to beat him. And I think I'm ready to do this now. I can understand this better now, and let's wait. If this rematch happens, you guys will see.
And a lot of people not sure whether Cain Velasquez will ever look like his old self after, obviously, that fight with Werdum that you mentioned where he looked different, and then quite recently having another injury and having to pull out of the fight. Do you think we'll see the same Cain Velasquez when he finally does return to the octagon?
Well, I hope so, man. I hope so, because I used to like, to watch his fights. he put in a lot of pressure against his opponents. And wow, it's a good competitor, I think we did some great battles, and we can do a little bit more of that. So I hope that he can come back very well for this fight against Travis Brownie. But like you said, I like Werdum didn't fight the same Cain Velasquez I fought. That's what I think.
Junior, we really appreciate the time you're giving us. We'll let you go in just a moment. We just got a couple more quick questions about just the title picture in general in the heavyweight division. I mean, one thing is you hold an 80-second victory over the current champion Fabricio Werdum, not to mention a victory over Stipe as well. Does that make you extra confident knowing that if you do get a title shot, you could potentially beat either champion again?
Oh yeah, for sure. I used to watch his fights a lot. All the heavyweight fights that are on top of the division. I used to watch his fights and how they are doing. And I think Miocic is coming from a great moment. He's very confident right now. After that loss against me, he seems like he's getting better. And more. What he did with Andrei Arlovski now was was impressive. You know, he went there and knocked him out like this, you know. So it was fast, and he's doing very well. And I think, you know, he got advantage fighting against Werdum, because Werdum is a guy that doesn't take nobody down. You know, he just submit people when people take him down. You know, and talking about their stand-up game, Miocic, I see Miocic being better than him, you know. Of course, Werdum fight. Werdum is doing very well in his career right now. But, yeah, I think that Miocic has a little advantage on that fight. And I would love to face any one of them, you know, especially for the title. That would be amazing to be fighting against them again. And I really hope that, I'm feeling this, you know, if Miocic wins, it's better for me. Because, man, they're doing all the time, he starts to talk too much, and he takes too much time to fight again, you know, and start to do a lot of things without, but not like defending his title. So I think if he wins the fight, you know, it's going to be good, you know, to face him. But I think it's better for me if Miocic wins.
And I have to ask, if Werdum does win and you do get a rematch against him, how do you think that rematch would go? Would it be as quick as the first one where you knocked him out pretty quickly?
I would knock him out pretty quick, man. He got better. You know, he's a better stand-up fighter now. You know, his jiu-jitsu is the best on the heavyweight division. There is no doubt about that. You know, but as a striker, he improved. He improved a lot. You know, but he's still a jiu-jitsu fighter, man. If I fight him, I will knock him out like pretty fast, maybe in the first or second round. Again, you know, I was watching sometimes his fight against Cain Velasquez, and that he became the champion. Man, I can see. Well, he's doing a little better on his stand-up game, but just a little better. You know, he's still a jiu-jitsu fighter. You know, talking about a stand-up striking. You know, I really believe, and I'm very confident that I could knock him out again.
There you go. Your confidence is inspiring us, Junior, and you're exciting us. As we let you go, just wondering, when do you see yourself returning to the octagon? You got this win over Ben Rothwell. When are you looking to come back? And also, will you be at UFC 198 to watch the fight live?
Yeah, I'm to the UFC 198. I'm gonna be commentating on TV there in Brazil. It's
wow.
Extra job that I have.
Yeah,
that I have there in Brazil. And can you imagine that? I'm gonna be commentating that fight. So I have a lot of things to tell people. You know.
That's exciting. You gotta sell the fight, man. When you're commentating, tell everyone how you want the rematch.
That's it. But it's gonna be good. I'm having a great experience doing that, and I'm gonna enjoy that a lot. You know, to be doing this, and also because I'm gonna be paying a lot of attention on that fight. About becoming, you know, about fighting again, I'm not sure right now. You know, I'm just taking care of some things, doing some exams here, you know, to check if everything is all right with me. And I want to fight as soon as possible. Like I told you guys before, you know, I want to fight 3 times this year. So I already fought one, and let's see now what's going to happen.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to see what happens and obviously who you get matched up against. Junior, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. Your English is vastly improved, and you know, I know a lot of people from Brazil. Sort of they put a lot of work into improving their English, and you've done a tremendous job with that. Guys, don't forget to follow Junior on Twitter at Junior_Tagano. And again, thank you so much for your time today, Junior. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure to be talking with you again. Talk to you soon.